6 times the number of migrant crossings. The crossings were already at extraordinary levels, but that is an astonishing increase.
Yes, and what's astonishing is the fact that we're still not deporting any of those migrants illegally, that we're still defining them as coming over as legal, and that we have a preparation for them to be able to be placed in short-term housing and then long-term housing. But if you look at the numbers, Julia, what is more concerning is the trend that we have. I just want to put some big figures to you. 2000 to 18-19, increase of 500% in the year. 2000 to 19, 458%, and the increase last year was 350% of the numbers that came over. If those numbers continue, as you've just said, that would mean that we'd have nearly 100,000 channel migrants coming over in this year. And is there a demand for it? Absolutely. Those are fleeing Afghanistan are joining those who are fleeing Iran and Iraq. And what we're also now seeing is large numbers of Africans deciding to come into the UK rather than their routes into Germany and Spain.
I've spoken to some experts in this field, some who very much are looking for, they're people arguing for a sort of safer routes for people to come to this country. And they say the numbers aren't increasing so much, it's the method. Well, this is a very visible method. We can see these people being picked up. We can see the TV footage of it. It's all very dramatic. But actually, in terms of the actual numbers, people are just choosing a different route. They're coming on the boats because a lot of the other routes they used to take in the lorries through the Channel Tunnel and the like, those have been closed off to them because, of course, you've got so many more border checks than we've had. Is that the evidence that you've been seeing?
I think that's pretty fair if we look at 2019 and 2020, and to an extent 2021. One could also argue that the numbers who are coming over on the ferries and illegally over lorries was visible. But again, what I'm saying here is the trend. If we're looking at these numbers now, and everybody is estimating 60 to 100,000, we didn't have 60 to 100,000 come over in pre-pandemic 2018. We didn't have them in 2019. So what we already have is a backlog of, the National Audit Office says 48,000 people are in short-term housing. That's only 30%. So they're estimating 120 odd thousand in housing. Where are we going to put these 100,000? Where are they going to go? The hotels are already full with the 3 companies, Clearwater, Mears and Serco, that have the £4 billion contract. Where are we going to place these people? And which councils are going to have to take the responsibility to do so?
And who wants those people living near them? That's the reality, because everyone could be all right on about it, but they don't want them living next door to them. They don't.
Absolutely.
Also, last time you were on the show, you have staggered by the figure that on average these illegal migrants cost us £40,000 in their first year. These are huge sums of money that could be spent on much better, more worthwhile things. What do you make of Emmanuel Macron and his comments? I mean, never misses an opportunity, does he? But his opportunity. He says that basically, the problem is us. The responsibility for those who die at sea does not fall upon France, but upon this British refusal, he says, to take responsibility for every migrant, and saying that we need to dissuade migrants from risking their lives. And if we had, safe legal options, then it wouldn't be a problem.
Oh, this is great displacement theory, isn't it? I want to abdicate my responsibility as a leader of a major nation from preventing illegal migrants entering my country. And I'll blame it on the country that they're going to. Yes, France also accepts huge numbers of people living in Paris. If you go to Paris now, it is nothing like the romantic city of the past. It's actually looking into some sort of bedlam of a nasty movie that you've seen, with people sleeping on the streets and the crime levels that are rising there. This is all about the electioneering, and he almost sounds like he's becoming part of the immigration industry. There is a huge part of the immigration industry here that says we want more people to come into the UK, give them safe routes from France or from Spain or whatever country they are, because they know that they will get huge sums of money. A figure that we've just picked out is £100 million has been issued as a contract from the Home Office to an organisation called Migrant Help. And that is just to give help to migrants who've just arrived here. That's a huge sums of money.
I mean, those are extraordinary sums, aren't they? We're told the government's trying to get on top of this. There's no doubt at all that people are very concerned about, cost of living, energy prices. People are concerned about Partygate. They really are. People are very angry about that. But many commentators, and particularly those who've been campaigning in a lot of those red wall seats, which are so crucial to the Prime Minister's majority, they say actually it's the migrant boats, it's the Channel migrants boats. That is the key policy that is really upsetting voters. You were with the Brexit Party as an MEP. That is still a big issue for an awful lot of voters, isn't it?
It's a huge issue, and it's not just in the North and the Midlands and parts of Wales. There are only 147 councils that are really taking in these migrants, and some much more than others. But leafy areas of Surrey and Hampshire and Wiltshire are not really taking those numbers in. But it's important to places like Portsmouth. It's important to places in Essex and in Kent, where there are huge numbers too. This isn't going away. All it is heads in the sand politics from those politicians in the Conservative government who'd rather look at decapitating Boris over a Partygate rather than dealing with really serious economic and cultural issues of mass migration into the UK.
Stephen Woolfe, really good to talk to you, Director of the Centre for Migration and Economic Prosperity. Thank you for that.